Okay, so I watched just a little bit of the Hodge twins video. There's my reaction. The little interview with Nick Fuentes. For me, Nick Fuentes invalidated himself years ago when he kind of first got popular. And I watched about, I don't know, 5 minutes before he said, it wouldn't have been that bad if Germany won the war. All right, that right there is so unhinged. I was like, okay, we're done. And, I even heard people like give like pre excuses for him and his position. And oh, he used to say a lot of crazy things. Well, that's that person. Okay. So the thing he keeps missing, and I've never heard him say, which is the Bank of England, aka the Rothschild central banking cartel, they set Israel up after World War II. Okay. The central banking cartel funded both sides of the war. There was a Warburg in Germany and a Warburg, his brother, in America, handling all that. So the culprit is the central banking cartel. And yeah, maybe some of those people are Jewish. So that right there maybe gives Nick a little bit of squeegee. But when you're talking about the grand scheme of things, he's okay, yeah, it's obvious. We've got lunatic senators that think God wants us to support the Israel of today when the fact is it's not the same Israel that was in the Bible. And they have this strange fanatic devotion to that. And I think the impetus of that fanatic devotion is they've done so many insane things that are un-American. They're apparently aware of the whole Epstein thing, the control file mechanism that apparently seems Israel born. So yeah, I get Israel should not be influencing America at all, but I don't need to hear it from a guy that thinks Germany would have been okay ruling the world with the Nazi regime, the Third Reich. Okay, that's unhinged. So at the same time, you've got Jihad Jerry over there that thinks God basically told them to skin infidels alive. All right. So, and then apparently this Zionist thing, that's apparently different than being Jewish. And apparently they feel that they're the superior race or species or whatever. And even the Mossad's logo or their motto is by deceit shall we rule or something like that. So, I'm invested into Bitcoin, or I should say I am a Bitcoiner. I think investment is a bit weak of a description if you hold Bitcoin in cold storage in a vault that you can't get, that is air gapped from the world, and that money can never, ever be used to be taxed to make more war. So if Nick Fuentes really wasn't just he honestly seems like an agent of some sort, because he's either too thick to see the real problem, or he knows the real problem and would rather just stir up hate and distraction with his insane, unhinged rants about how it wouldn't be that bad if Germany won the war. What an asshole. I mean, okay. So just because he speaks with really good diction and authority doesn't make him right. And he's getting a lot of press now because it's quite clear we have been infiltrated, but I'm not going to use an asshat like Nick Fuentes to represent my thoughts on this when it's clear Bitcoin will defund all these asshats. Now, here's the thing. When I say these asshats, I mean people that profit from war. I know I just used that term to describe Nick. Apparently, it's been in my lexicon lately because there's been a lot of asshattery with the whole Epstein thing. And yeah, I gotta say that the flip side of really what really makes me a neutral Bitcoiner in this, pro-America for sure. I want to get rid of the foreign influence. And by foreign influence, I don't just mean Israel influencing our government. I mean the aggressive Muslims that have come to America that are trying to tell us how it's going to be instead of integrating. So fuck off right there. You either integrate into America. I worked with a guy as an F-16 pilot named Shiv, who's a Christian. I would say that's pretty damn well integrated. And he was he's a great guy. All right. But when you're talking about, you look at what happens in Minneapolis and this guy running for mayor in New York, you're out of your fucking mind if you think that's what America's going to accept as, we're not giving up for you. All our Americanism stuff that we like. So now the other thing that Nick kind of leaves out is the whole Jihad Jerry aspect, where you have, let's face it, generations of inbred people that no matter how well you explain Bitcoin or how well you explain, I don't know, plumbing, everything that they're geared towards, we have to kill the infidel. We have to kill the infidel. We have to kill the infidel. That's all the fuck that they know how to do. Okay? And it's your own ass on the line. Okay? You got the United States of America with Israel coming after your ass for that. Okay? And you've had decades to change your tune, and you haven't. The people that live in Palestine, all right, tell me how you keep allowing Hamas to rule everything, and then also explain to me after October 7th, okay, I know Israel apparently let it happen, but they didn't make those people rape the Israeli girls. They didn't make the Palestinian guy with the dead Israeli girl in the back, showing her off, parading her through. They didn't make him do that. And they didn't make the teenage boys looking all excited, following them, taking pictures. Okay? They didn't make them do that. That's who they are. All right? So if Israel manipulated that situation and allowed that to happen, well, you know what? Sometimes you've got to understand that strategy sometimes can reveal the nature of another. Allow them to show the world who they are, and they did. And they're barbarians, okay? And we can't have a big, rich Bitcoin world with hyperloops and flying cars and the whole thing. We don't need Jihad Jerry with flying cars. You saw what they did with just trucks in the Christmas villages in France and Germany and the bridges in England. All right. So my take is stack Bitcoin and let the lunatics have their way, and they'll just do themselves in. The meek shall inherit the earth. And by meek, I mean armed Bitcoin people that don't take any shit and don't need to be spoken for by Nick fucking Fuentes. All right? Thank you.